Tony Maselli. I'm here about the job.
In 1984, a Brooklyn tough guy and his adorable daughter moved to the suburbs and turned the American family upside down.
This was not Donna Reed.
But putting Tony Danza in an apron was more than a one-note joke. Who's the Boss had heart and soul to go with the laughs.
I said, no, I memorized the line like this. Could you please say it like this?
Over the next 2 hours, find out how Tony, Angela, Mona, Samantha, and Jonathan changed television and how television changed them.
To go through puberty in front of millions of people with big hair and acid-wash jeans in the 80s.
With exclusive interviews and hilarious clips, we'll relive the show's most memorable moments. Spring a few surprises.
There's a lost episode of Who's the Boss.
And introduce you to the Tony and Angela you haven't met.
I'm here about the job.
Screwball comedy, tender romance, and 8 years of fun.
I ran to the show to tell everybody, we got Sinatra.
Who's the Boss had it all, except the answer to an all-important question.
I thought Mona was the boss.
Oh, this is TV Tales, Who's the Boss?
Like a martini.
From its unlikely beginnings through its remarkable 8-year run, Who's the Boss broke the rules and redefined the true blue American family in prime time.
It spoke to the fact that there were families in this country that were not what everybody called, say in the 50s, traditional families. This was not Donna Reed.
When sitcoms were predominantly about the functional family, we threw a little dysfunction in there.
If you didn't know the premise of the show, you'd really just think that we were a family until Tony picks up the, whatever it is to clean.
They created their family, that it wasn't the way it was supposed to be or the way it had been set up to be.
These people really cared about each other and about their kids. They do anything for the kids.
Who's the Boss was one of the most successful shows of the 1980s, but the series almost didn't happen. During the 70s, politically charged sitcoms like All in the Family and Maude dominated the airwaves. But by 1983, sitcoms were in a slump. Stu Bloomberg was in charge of developing comedies for ABC.
In the early 80s, comedy was dead. Didn't mean that we stopped developing half-hour comedies, but none were working.
Television in 1983 was very drama-driven. It was shows like Dynasty and Dallas. Those were the shows that got the attention. The only comedy in the top 10 was Kate and Allie on CBS.
The early 80s were also a time of huge social change in America. Women joined the workforce by the millions, while more men were minding the home front. Bloomberg was quick to spot the trend.
A woman that I worked with, Phyllis Glick, and I had been talking about an idea of a blue-collar guy going to work for a white-collar woman.
The ABC execs called Embassy Communications, the media company founded by All in the Family creator Norman Lear.
We called and said, we have this idea. Do you have writers who you think are right for this concept?
ABC was in luck. Partners Blake Hunter and Martin Cohen were already working on a series about changing social dynamics.
Blake came to me with an article from the Wall Street Journal about young couples who were moving in together because the housing market was so expensive they couldn't afford places of their own.
We started out with a premise of two people wanting to buy a house and neither one of them being able to afford it.
The man was an assistant professor and the woman was a blue-collar worker. They both had kids.
And a smart real estate agent puts them together.
It was called Limited Partners.
We pitched this to NBC and they passed on it, and ABC called our company and said they'd like to do business with us.
The writers and the network execs were on the same page, but Hunter and Cohen became really interested when Bloomberg mentioned the actor he wanted to star in the series.
Tony Danza. We were for Tony, 100%.
33-year-old Tony Danza was fresh off a 5-year stint playing Tony Banta on Taxi. The Brooklyn-born former boxer was anxious to land his next gig, and he was keeping his options open.
I wasn't limited by, oh God, I can only do this or I can only do that. I was basically thinking job.
But Danza had no need to worry.
My agent came to me and said, hey, I have 3 projects for you in one. you play a tough New York City detective. In another, you play a daring helicopter pilot. And in a third, you play a housekeeper.
Embassy casting executive Eve Branstein came up with a plan to help Tony make up his mind.
What I arranged was for Tony Danza to come in a general way to talk to these groups and listen to the pitches.
We went to the meeting, and they pitched these ideas to us. And the one that was funny was the housekeeper.
Danza was interested, but it took more than a pitch meeting to reel him in.
He liked the character, he liked the situation a lot. And I think he saw the potential in it, but the writers had to sort of win him over with the material.
Hunter and Cohen began to write a pilot script, but they struggled to find a reason why their character would take a job as a housekeeper.
It didn't make any sense at all. So we said, let's see, what if he had a daughter? And the daughter was growing up in a way that he didn't care for in Brooklyn. He wanted to get her to a nice place like Connecticut with white fences and green grass and stuff like that. That would make him say, I'll take a job as a housekeeper.
ABC brass liked the new setup, except for one detail.
The network was terrified, thinking that Angela would be a poor mother for leaving her child alone with someone she didn't know.
We all felt that we needed somebody to give Tony props, so to speak, to say that he was okay, because this woman who had a son was going to contemplate bringing in a blue-collar guy and his daughter into his house.
So we created the sister, and she was able to come in and say, I've checked on this man.
I've checked with his parish priest, I've checked with the YMCA, I've checked with this, with that, with that. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. You couldn't possibly do better. Your son is in good hands, and the audience could go, ah.
The hole in the story was filled, but Hunter and Cohen were not quite satisfied with their new character.
It was such a kind of nothing role that we said, let's give it something. So what we did was we made her a little randy to kind of counterbalance Angela's uptightness.
There were some lines that were a little on the off-color side, and we thought that the right actress could make them work.
With all the pieces of the puzzle in place, Hunter and Cohen finished the script. They titled it You're the Boss and sent the script to Tony Danza. The two writers did not have to wait long for a response.
I loved it. I just loved it. I just thought, geez, I can be funny in this.
For Danza, a man doing household chores was just no big deal.
My mom believed in everybody taking part in sharing in the work in the house, and that meant she worked, my mother. So, you know, when we were growing up as kids, we really had to do a lot of work. I remember not being allowed out until the bathrooms were cleaned on a Saturday, or I knew how to iron, because she said, you don't want to go to wrinkle, do you? You better learn how to iron. I knew how to sew. You know, I just knew all that stuff.
Though Danza was impressed, getting him to sign on was anything but a slam dunk. There was a powerful obstacle in the way.
I had a manager at the time, Jerry Weintraub, who was Elvis's manager and promoted Frank Sinatra, and a very tough guy. And he said to me, you're not going on TV and being a housekeeper.
Weintraub was macho to the core. He didn't want to see Danza in an apron.
So we started backup readings, and it turned out that nobody even came close.
We interviewed and auditioned Italian guys day after day after day after day, and nobody satisfied us.
So Blake and I said to each other, if it's not Tony, we're just going to bail.
The writers got some help from one of Weintraub's associates, Andrea Eastman.
She was the person that I dealt with at Jerry's company, and she had a big fight with him about this was a good project, and he's saying to her, you're out of your mind. And somehow I sided with with Andrea.
Danza was in. Hunter and Cohen landed their leading man, but no one expected him to carry the whole show.
It wasn't like it was identified as the Tony Danza show at that moment. It was a family show with an original way of looking at family life, and with Tony as the centerpiece.
The producers still had a family to find, with the leading lady at the top of their list. But landing Ms. Right turned out to be more than a case of good timing. A sexy nightgown and a pair of wandering eyes helped seal the deal.
This Emmys, go online with E! and rank the stars. Watch live from the red carpet this Sunday at 6 and log on to eonline.com. As Hollywood struts its stuff, you score their looks live. For instant fashion ranking, tune into E! and vote at eonline.com.
We're bringing the
red carpet closer than ever as Joan and Melissa are on the prowl for exclusive reactions.
So fun being up here.
Be part of TV history with our in-depth live coverage of the Emmy Awards. Tomorrow at 6, only on E, the leader in award show coverage.
Look at this.
Great shoes.
Where'd you get them? The DSW Fall Collection for women and men is here. All the brands, all the styles, all at prices you can actually afford. DSW. For the perfect shoes, look no further.
Every Lexus sedan comes with a VVTi engine for power when you need it.
This thing is so uncomfortable. Ooh.
Haynes Comfort. It's a beautiful thing.
It's TV's biggest event, and only one network has the all-day coverage you crave. Emmy Awards Sunday. Tomorrow at noon, only on E.
Your pet. Introducing Domino's Pizza Buffalo Chicken Kickers. Tender cuts of all-white chicken breast with a kick of spicy buffalo flavor baked through and through. 10 pieces for $5.99. Get the door and get a kick out of dinner tonight. Get an order of Cinesticks free when you buy a large one-topping pizza for $9.99.
Try our brand new Buffalo Chicken Kickers. Get a 10-piece order for only $5.99.
The new versatile all-wheel drive Subaru Baja. Part car, part truck, all choice. When you get it, you get it.
With Tony Danza front and center, a pilot called You're the Boss got a green light in October of 1983. But the producers had a problem. They needed the female lead.
I had the part, and we're looking for the girl. And it's the hardest thing to do in TV, is to find the partner.
We were auditioning all these actresses, and one day, Eve Brandstein said, I've got this great actress coming in from New York. And so we thought, well, that's good.
Neither Blake or myself watched daytime television, so we didn't even know who Judith Light was. And she was a major soap opera star.
Her value as a real actress was so strong for this role and gave it such a sort of depth, if you will, because it was more than, you know, going for the joke.
For 5 years, Judith Light played troubled Karen Wolick on One Life to Live. She conquered the soap opera world with 2 daytime Emmys and a spot in the Soap Opera Hall of Fame.
That's true. Katrina came to me. She told me she knew who killed Mark, or she told me it was Talbot Huddleston. Vicki Riley didn't kill Mark, or she couldn't kill anybody. Please, you've got to believe me. It was Talbot Huddleston.
Light was ready for primetime, and casting agents all over Los Angeles agreed.
There were a few things that I was up for in this mid-season replacement time, and there were like 3 of them.
Light found herself facing a dilemma. She had to rank her 3 potential projects.
I didn't have any idea what to put in first position. I mean, how do you know? Can't know.
Light decided to make a project called Staff of Life her first priority. But Judith changed her mind during her audition for the producers of You're the Boss.
I just had a real great sense about them and the material, and I thought, ooh, I think I may have made a mistake.
She read one scene and she was just great. We said, wow. And then she said, can I read another scene? So we said, sure. So she read another scene. And then she said, can I read another? She ended up reading the whole damn script.
Judith wanted You're the Boss, and Hunter and Cohen were impressed. But they were also considering several other candidates. The role of Angela Bauer was up for grabs.
So we decided that the best thing to do would be to have an old-fashioned Hollywood screen test.
It wasn't one of those live in the room performances. We actually taped the scene to see how they looked together, what the chemistry was.
On October 20th, 1983, 4 actresses came to the ABC studios in Los Angeles to tape a screen test with Tony Danza. Judith Light almost didn't show up.
I didn't want to go and audition because I'd already put Staff of Life in first place, and I said, you know, I'm just not going to go up for that.
But Judith's managers had other ideas. They advised her to get to the audition right away.
So I did. I auditioned with Tony.
The session began late. Danza drove to the wrong studio. But when the star finally arrived, the candidates got down to business.
Tony breezed in and said hello to each of them. They went through a little preliminary thing with the director, and then he did his little scene with each of the ladies, and that was the first time they'd ever spoken to one another.
One by one, each of the actresses performed a key scene from the pilot script.
Did you have a bad dream, honey?
No, I didn't even get to sleep.
Oh, thought it was Jonathan.
No, it's me. I don't take this as an apology, but, well, maybe I screwed up a little tonight.
Maybe a little.
And I hope I didn't cost you your job.
Oh, no, I don't think so. You may have cost me awfully big promotion, though.
So now I get it. You're dating that guy because of a promotion?
There you go, jumping to conclusions again.
All of the screen tests were solid, but Judith and Tony were electric together.
Well, maybe I screwed up a little tonight.
Maybe a little.
I hope I didn't cost you your job.
No, I don't think you cost me my job, but I think you might have cost me an awfully big promotion. He was funny and delightful and warm and made me feel comfortable, and we had a ball.
We had something happen really quickly between us.
I just remember feeling this instant connection as though I had known him forever. Anyway, it's taken me a long time to get this far, and, well, I'd really like to go all the way.
I think you would have if I hadn't showed up.
When he read with Judith, it was magic. The chemistry was there, and we knew that Judith was the right one.
Still, the most crucial moment happened when the camera wasn't rolling.
I was wearing a nightgown and a robe, and I was to cross in front of him. And I knew he was looking at me and checking me out as I walked in front of him.
I did it to every one of the other girls, too. I checked them all out, and it was just part of the thing I was doing, you know. So I was like, you know, just catch a look.
I turned, and I looked at him, and I said, what are you looking at?
And she hadn't seen me do it. She just sort of knew that I'd be looking. And that was like, oh, you know.
For Judith, the screen test confirmed she wanted in on You're the Boss. Once again, she turned to her managers for guidance.
I called and I said, oh, I really made a mistake. And they said, well, the only thing you can do is just pray that you don't get it, that you don't get Staff of Life. And I've never been so happy not to get something in my life. I found out on a Monday that I did not get Staff of Life, and I called them up and I was like, oh my God, I didn't get it, I didn't get it.
The producers finally had their boss. Now they needed an actress to play her man-hungry older sister, Mona Robinson.
We had actress after actress come in and read for the part. And they all made it sound a little smarmy, and we didn't mean it that way.
It didn't feel right, so we were thinking of going back to the drawing board on that character. And then Eve Branstein, our casting director, came to us and said, Katherine Hellman is available.
What I did in the room was say, you know, I have an idea, guys. There are fabulous actresses who are older who could be possibly Judith's mother, someone like Katherine Hellman.
Katherine Hellman was best known as Jessica Tate on the groundbreaking ABC sitcom Soap. Hunter and Cohen loved Hellman. Turning the Mona character into an older woman was a no-brainer.
Boom. We changed immediately.
The free-spirited mother was even funnier. And when Katherine Hellman said exactly the same lines, instead of smarmy, they came out funny.
I have a kind of ladylike facade, so when things are said, they're more risque than smutty. And I think also when the facade seems very pulled together and somebody suddenly drops a little line that you think, Did they say that?
The producers cast Hellman as Mona, but it was a major gamble. Catherine already said yes to another pilot.
We were in a quandary, so we called in the pilot and screened it. And to put it mildly, we felt pretty secure that Catherine Hellman would be ours.
They were right. Catherine's other pilot wasn't picked up, and she joined the cast of You're the Boss. The producers next turned their attention to finding the perfect kids for the series, but the search was slow, especially for Tony's daughter, Samantha.
We must have read every child in Hollywood, and all of them came in with their little baseball caps turned on sideways, and they were all very precocious, and not one of them filled the bill.
So I began doing a search in New York, and eventually we got some tape in, and it's just that clear. I looked at a bunch of tapes. This one girl jumped off the screen.
That girl was 10-year-old Alyssa Milano. At the time, the native New Yorker was trying to make a name for herself in the theater. Alyssa spent 16 months on tour with the musical Annie, but one local casting call changed everything.
I auditioned in New York and didn't think much of it. It was just another audition, and the next day the phone rang and said that they needed me in LA.
I basically called up Alyssa Milano's agent and said, can you put them on a plane and bring them out tomorrow?
Alyssa and her father flew to Los Angeles for the audition. Milano blew Hunter and Cohen away and was immediately asked back to read for the network suits. But the producers had a last-minute request that nearly threw Alyssa for a loop.
Because I was trained in the theater, I lost my New York accent, and they just sprung on me that when I went to network, they wanted it back because Tony Danza couldn't have a daughter without a Brooklyn accent.
Alyssa's father came up with a novel way to solve the problem. They phoned home.
I called my mom, who had a really thick New York accent, and I just talked to her on the phone for a good hour and listened to her voice.
Then it was time for the audition of Alyssa's life.
I will never forget auditioning at the ABC Entertainment Center because it was very intimidating. And I walked into the room and met Tony Danza, he was the cute guy from Taxi.
This time, Alyssa wowed Tony and the network chiefs with her audition and her accent.
She did it heavy, you know. She really got into it thick. She just had that New York thing. She really felt like she belonged with Tony.
I made them laugh, and I went outside. And when I left the audition, I realized that I was the only girl there.
Alyssa didn't have to wait long to find out why.
The door opened, and Eve Branstein walked out and knelt down and said, you got it, honey.
And she just, you know, hugged me, and it was so exciting. And then I saw them calling family at home. It was a big deal for them. It changed their life.
There was just one cast member to go, the smallest one. But 6-year-old Danny Pintaro already had a full-size resume. This showbiz kid was no pushover, and he proved it in his audition for the role of Jonathan Bauer.
Tony and Judith were both there, and I guess they'd been doing it for hours and hours and hours. And Judith was sort of, hey, how are ya? Versus, hi, son, how are you today? And I stopped her and I said, no, I memorized the line like this. Could you please say it like this?
She must have messed up like a tiny word. I mean, it wasn't like a huge thing. I think maybe she was just paraphrasing to some extent, and he corrected her.
She just looked at me like, okay. And I guess they just really liked that I'd had the wits about me to do that.
The You're the Boss family was complete, except for one last-minute change. The producers couldn't stand the show's title.
We tried a couple things, like She's the Boss, but we were never really happy with whatever title we came up with.
We had page after page of ideas. None of them seemed to click.
But the producers didn't have time to dwell on the title. They needed to get ready to shoot the pilot. For Danza, it was a reality check.
It was my first pilot. I was starring in a show. It was amazing, you know, it was really something. I felt the pressure.
Danza was nervous, but the pressure was only beginning.
Tomorrow.
Where the f is Bobby Trendy?
It's Beauty and the Butch when Frankie the designer confronts Bobby Trendy.
This is not made to her standards.
Who will be crowned Anna's queen of decor.
Just make Anna happy.
Plus, Anna consults a pet psychic. It's an all-new episode tomorrow at 10 on E! One showgirl feels the pressure to stay thin.
She doesn't lose the weight, then she's gone.
Vegas showgirls nearly famous. Tomorrow at 10:30 only on E!
Now
you can conceive in less time with accurate daily readings of your personal fertility. Clear Plan Fertility Monitor. There's no better plan.
From visionary director David Fincher. Locking us in. Two-time Academy Award winner Jodie Foster. Get out of my house! In the #1 suspense thriller of the year. We will find you. Panic Room. Buy it now on DVD.
What are you having for dinner?
I'm having leftover of leftovers.
I'm having whatever I can eat in a trance in front of the refrigerator.
2 words, drive-through.
I'm sitting down to tender steak in a Dijon peppercorn and white wine sauce with roasted potatoes, red peppers, and crisp green beans. It's one of those new dinners from Lean Cuisine.
Do something good for yourself with new dinner time selections from Stouffer's Lean Cuisine. It's not just lean, it's cuisine.
Escape from dry, heat-damaged hair when you discover heat-activated Thermasilk conditioner. Thermasilk's moisturizers work with your hair dryer to help lock in moisture for softer, silkier hair. Thermasilk. Turn your hair into silk.
The design consultants at Ethan Allen.
We'll help turn the home of your dreams into a reality.
You come in, and we have someone there to help you.
We'll take your budget and try and fit into that budget what you'd really like to do.
The complimentary design service. It's fun.
It's free.
It's easy.
Come on, Caesar. Roll over. Roll over.
Extra. The flavor lasts.
Okay, sit. Good boy.
It's the Swiffer Wetjet with its super absorbent pad versus a thinner lookalike. And they're off! Watch how even the powered Wetjet spray is. And hang on! The competition's already had to stop for a new cloth. But look at the Wetjet pad cleaning 3 times more. And onto the hardwood floors with the greatest of ease. And over the finish line for a beautiful clean. Swiffer Wetjet. There is no substitute.
This portion of E brought to you by Swiffer, changing cleaning behavior.
On November 4th, 1983, Tony Danza, Judith Light, Katherine Hellman, Alyssa Milano, and Danny Pintaro taped the pilot for You're the Boss before an audience at Universal Studios. All systems were go except one. The star of the show was under the weather.
I don't know if it was a cold or flu, but I think it had a lot to do with nerves.
I think it was a psychological cold, but because of his energy, he just came right over the top of it.
I was a little bit of a neophyte still, so what I needed was to go out there. I forced myself to go out. You know, you throw yourself in, and you do the first line, and it gets a laugh. And then you know what? The cold ain't so bad anymore.
By the end of the night, Danza's nerves and his cold were gone.
The audience loved it. They laughed at every joke. They fell over. I mean, I just, I couldn't believe how much they liked it. Just couldn't believe it.
The story began in Brooklyn as Tony Maselli and his daughter Samantha set out in search of a brand new life.
How could you leave New York, huh?
The Triborough Bridge. Hey, look, Miss Rosini, you gotta admit, this neighborhood is falling apart. I mean, look at Samantha. When she starts coming home with black eyes, I think it's time for me to get out.
Hey, that's because there were 3 of those guys there. And anyway, I got one guy sneezing out of his ear.
Actress Rhoda Gemignani had a small role as neighbor Mrs. Rossini, and a much larger one as the sister of co-creator Martin Cohen.
Marty and Blake told me, we've got this character. We're not sure you'd be right for it, but you want to give it a try?
I'm a firm believer in nepotism, but it's even better when your relative has talent.
For Gemignani, shoot night was unforgettable.
It was amazing. You knew it was a hit. You just knew it was a hit. I sat there, I was as nervous as I could be for everybody, and I just knew. It was just so good, and the audience response was so tremendous.
In fact, Katherine Hellman had the audience howling, but her big entrance nearly took out Tony Danza.
I had decided that my character should ride in on a bicycle, which they thought, well, that's crazy. Has no reason whatsoever, but it'll be fun. And when we rehearsed in the rehearsal room, there was plenty of space for the bicycle. to sail in, you know, and curve around. When we got to the set, it was another thing. I had to make sure I jumped off in a hurry, and I really did run into him.
Eventually, Catherine opted for a more subdued entrance.
Here you are, and right on time. What a reliable person.
The night ended on a tremendous high.
Marty Cohen said to me after we filmed the pilot, he says, I think we're sitting on a hit. That's what I'll never forget it.
The show seemed like a sure bet to join the ABC schedule as a mid-season replacement, but suddenly, all bets were off.
ABC called us up and they said, guys, we've got no room for you on the schedule, but look, don't worry. We're gonna, not are we gonna put this on the shelf, we're gonna put it in a vault.
The ABC executives in charge of the show loved it, and that was the problem.
We in the comedy department were really afraid that if it were seen by all of our management, it would get stale. It would just be old news, so that when it came to screening all of the pilots for fall consideration, which we do every year in April, our management's attitude would have been, oh, we saw that, it's stale. So we hid it.
The decision didn't sit well with the show's star.
I remember running into Tony Danza, he always reminds me of this, outside of the Palm restaurant one day, and he was flipping out. He was just afraid the show was dead.
And I said, hey, what's with my show, you know? What's going on, you know? And he said, he told me, wait, I got plans for it. And he told me, he said, you know, I have plans for it. But, you know, that and 50 cents, you know, you get you a cup of coffee.
With their fate on hold until spring, Danza and the rest of the cast could only wait and wonder.
You felt like you had something, and when were they going to actually put it on the air?
You never know from one day to the next if you're going to go to work when you're working in television. You just don't. There are too many elements to it, too many things to consider that the actors don't have any control over.
When the time to announce the new fall season finally arrived, ABC kept everyone in suspense until the very last moment.
I remember watching Entertainment Tonight, and they announced their fall lineup, and ABC announced theirs, and Who's the Boss was on it, and that's how I found out we got our first-year pickup.
They told us that we would hear on Sunday, and at 3 o'clock on Sunday, which was 6 o'clock in New York, I said, oh, to heck with it. And I was heading out the door to go with someone to look at a car, and the phone rang.
At last, the show had a spot on the schedule. But there was one more surprise, the time slot, Thursday nights at 8:30.
When Boss started out, it was supposed to be an adult comedy. The network gave us our marching orders. Do not include the kids in the opening shot. It's supposed to attract an adult audience.
And then we were right there in the family hour, and we kind of had to shift gears and write the show in more of a family vein.
With the premiere set for September, the cast and crew settled into their permanent home at Sunset Gower Studios, Stage 77. A new writing staff had to capture the magic of the pilot, week after week.
There was a moment when Tony first comes to the door, and they have this moment when they just kind of look at each other. People watched the pilot and said, that's the show right there. And in fact, we began to call it The Look. And in subsequent episodes, you know, you would write in the stage directions, they give each other the look. And Tony and Judith knew that that was sort of like a sexual moment between them.
But Who's the Boss was now a family show, and the relationship had to be handled just right.
The way the writers worked on it, the consistency with which they paid attention to that relationship and wrote about it, tried to find different ways to make it magical and keep it alive, I thought was a stroke of genius.
The fact that a grounded character like Angela was in love with this man, I think grounded him, and you could sort of see him through her eyes.
For Danza, there was one major rule: no hanky-panky in the house.
There were kids around, and you had to think about them more than you, and that in itself is a great message. Guess what? Let's think about the kids. Boy, that makes sense.
The sexuality may have been subtle, but the stars were anything but, especially if it meant getting a laugh when the kids were not around.
The second episode was Tony walks in on Judith in the bathroom. The rest of the show was dealing with how does the man live in your house and work for you who has seen you in the nude?
She's up on a platform, getting out of the bed, and about to put on a robe, and I'm walking in, swinging my soap on a rope, and, you know, doing some stupid shuffle as I walk through the door. And the bit was that, you know, she was going to be covered, but you couldn't see it from behind.
Judith, being a method actress, wanted to get the realistic one shot that Tony would act, how he would actually react. So he was expecting the bathing suit top, and she opened her bathrobe, and there was not one.
Holy smokes. She was actually nude, and so it was really easy to be embarrassed.
And I do believe that was the reaction shot that we used.
Even the smallest members of the cast felt the incredible chemistry.
Everybody on the show was so excited to be there, first of all, that, you know, you couldn't sort of sit in the corner and wait for your part. You just wanted to be listening and laughing at all the jokes.
Tony would go out after the introductions and call me and Danny out on stage to do a little soft shoe. And we did tap dancing with Tony in front of the audience, which, you know, was cool when I was like 11, 12. It's like 13, 14, 15, 16. It wasn't so cool anymore.
With several episodes under their belts, the cast was confident. But there was no such thing as instant gratification.
You start in July, and you don't go on until September. So I was doing this show, and I couldn't wait. I'm going to get my autograph. People are going to ask me for my autograph. When they see that show, oh boy, you know. But it took time. Nobody knew. So there was like 350 people every Friday who saw it and who were aware of it, but nobody else.
Meanwhile, the producers scrambled to tie up one very loose end.
We were still searching for a title almost until our air date.
Finally, with time running out, the untitled series officially became Who's the Boss? But not without regrets.
Titles, I think, are the hardest thing. Doing the pilot was a snap, but coming up with titles, that's hard.
I like it now that it's successful. But we didn't care for it when we started out. We kept looking for something better. We could never find it.
The producers made the subtle title switch out of desperation, but to others, the question mark at the end was a stroke of genius.
The title question of the show, Who's the Boss, is what gave it its context and its brilliance. One week, Catherine was the boss. One week, Tony was the boss. One week, I was the boss.
I thought Mona was the boss. I'm sure Tony thought he was the boss, and Judith probably thought she was the boss, and the kids, I'm sure, thought they were the boss.
On Thursday, September 20th, 1984, Who's the Boss debuted against Magnum P.I. on CBS and Family Ties on NBC. The big night was 10 months in the making, but another new family show premiered on NBC the same night, and the Cosby Revolution triggered a ratings landslide that nearly buried all the competition.
We were worried about Tom Selleck, and we should have been worried about Bill Cosby, so we got murdered on Thursday night.
Thanks to the Cosby Show lead-in, Family Ties became a ratings powerhouse. To stay on the air, Who's the Boss had to find a few million more viewers, and find them fast.
Tonight, catch all the stars, all the laughs, and all the music of Saturday Night Live as last season's SNL comes to E!
That sounds great!
Watch Sean William Scott host Saturday Night Live, tonight at 10, only on E! Hollywood turns the spotlight on the stars behind the camera.
Tonight, we honor those people who give us faces.
The Creative Emmy Awards, all new, tonight at 8, only on E!
Two men in love with the same woman. You're all that matters to me. When one is missing in action,
Don't! They can't find Jack.
she will send the other
He would give his life for you.
on a dangerous mission to save him.
I will find him!
The Four Feathers is a fabulous romantic epic filled with passion and grandeur. It's guaranteed to sweep you away. The Four Feathers.
Just come back to me safely.
Rated PG-13, now playing.
Will it catch the competition by surprise? Will it become the car by which all others are judged? Will lightning strike again? The all-new Accord from Honda.
Check it out. No, really, check it out.
New Pure Zone, 3-step continuous action skincare system from L'Oreal.
Breakouts? Not here. Blemishes? Bye-bye. And oil slicks? Beware.
New Pure Zone, 3-step skincare system from L'Oreal Paris.
Comfortable, casual clothes everyone loves. Hanes Comfort, it's a beautiful thing.
30 shrimp for your 30th birthday.
I'm 29.
Mix and match 30 shrimp for $9.99. Now at Red Lobster.
Hello?
Hi, Mr. Johnson. I wanted to tell you that you've won 2 tickets to the Kentucky Derby, 2 tickets to the Super Bowl, 2 tickets to the Tony Awards, 2 tickets to the 2004 Olympic Games, and 2 tickets to the Daytona 500. Mr. Johnson? Are you there?
Use your Visa card from August to October and you are automatically entered to win 2 tickets plus expenses to these 5 events.
Take a deep breath, Mr. Johnson. I'm here for you.
This portion of E is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere you want to be.
Hopes were high when Who's the Boss debuted in September of 1984. But the success of The Cosby Show marked the birth of must-see TV. And Who's the Boss paid the price.
Family Ties following Cosby was just killing it.
For Tony Danza and company, the poor ratings were a crushing disappointment.
It's hard to have something that you put your heart and soul in, and you know, and nobody's watching it. Very, very frustrating. And you think you got a good show, and yet they're just unaware of it.
After just 2 episodes, ABC was ready to make a change.
They came to us and they said, you know, we really do believe in this show. And we're going to take you off the air and find another night for you. And everybody said, oi, 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 what are they doing? That means it's over. And not everybody, but a bunch of people who'd been in the business for a long time. And I just made one pilot and I said, no, no, ABC said.
You can look at it 2 ways. One, 2 times and the network pulls a typical network, or I would like to think we really treasured this show and didn't want to see it slammed anymore going against Family Ties.
Who's the Boss was off the air, but the network execs were true to their word. After a hiatus of 3.5 weeks, the show returned to the primetime schedule.
8:30 on Tuesday night following Three's a Crowd. And it did respectably. It held its lead in.
The talented ensemble settled into a groove. There was plenty of comedy.
Do me a favor, put your hands up just like that. Come on, all right? Perfect.
What is it? What?
It's good!
More than a little romance.
If I'm gonna come home unexpectedly for dinner, I'll definitely call.
And I'll keep something in the freezer just for you in case you forget.
And sometimes even a few tears.
The second episode that I directed was about Tony's character's father passing away. And he was living in an apartment by himself, and Tony having to go to close down the apartment.
The story was that they discovered that I'm keeping an apartment. Right away, they think I got a woman. And they, you know, she follows me into town, and I, you know, and the story was that, no, it was my father's apartment. I had never gotten rid of it. I kept it.
For Danza, the episode, titled Requiem, was bittersweet in more ways than one. The story was based on his real-life experiences after the 1983 death of his father, Matty Danza.
He had this little apartment on Fulton and Nichols, 2 rooms over Max's furniture store, actually. And when he passed away, I went there to empty it out, you know. But I couldn't do it. I felt like if I did it, that really meant he was gone. I hadn't thought about this in a long time. So, anyway, so I told Marty and Blake about it, and they said, that's a great idea for a show.
While Requiem gave closure to a chapter of Tony Danza's personal life, the episode also marked a new beginning for the actor and for Who's the Boss.
I remember that show as a real time where it locked in for me what an incredible actor Tony was.
It was never spoken out loud, but I got a feeling that people began to, it went into another level, and something fundamental started to take shape.
The fall of 1984 was also a turning point for Alyssa Milano. The 11-year-old was starting to mature, but for Alyssa, the experience was doubly embarrassing. her real life found its way into an early Who's the Boss script.
I remember being in wardrobe fittings trying to find tops that wouldn't accentuate my little mosquito bites that I had developed. You know, and then the shock of getting the script the Friday before the Monday table reading and having it say Sam's first bra.
In the episode, titled Samantha's Growing Up, Tony Maselli bungles the job of buying his daughter a training bra.
I wanted one like Marcy's with a little pink bow in the middle.
You wanted the pink bow? Why?
Because everyone's gonna see it.
Hey, who's gonna see it?
Samantha's lingerie also sparked a battle with the network censor.
He said, "You're talking about undergarments for a little girl. This is lascivious. I won't have it." And then he said, he finally made his stand. He said, "You've used the word bra 11 times in this script. You can only use the word bra 10 times." And we said, "Well, what can we say?" And he said, "Say foundation garment."
Foundation garment was said by a very uppity salesperson, so it got a big laugh.
I take it this is her first foundation garment?
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, mine too.
One problem that popped up midway through the first season involved the show's secret weapon. It was getting harder and harder to keep Mona in the mix.
The character lived in her own apartment and outside of the given situation on a daily basis. So they built an apartment over the top of the garage, and the next thing you know, she was there for everything and had her fingers in every pie and a comment about everything.
With all the principals under one roof, Who's the Boss moved to its third time slot, Tuesdays at 9. The change helped the show to a 37th place finish in the Nielsen ratings. The numbers weren't great, but they were enough to earn the series a second year.
People tuned in, people slowly got to like the show, and it grew.
But a strong summer made a big difference.
The ratings surged as soon as people began to find us, and that was because we were, in the reruns, they had seen the other shows and they were beginning to sample us. That's when we took off.
CBS had Alice at the time, and they announced at the end of the year that they were going off. It was going to be their last show. But what CBS did was they left it in rerun all summer. So people went, let me see what else is on. This show's not coming back.
All of a sudden, ABC had another hit. The little show that could earned a plum time slot for the 1985 season.
We brought it back in the fall of '85 and put it on Tuesday at 8. That was its home.
But there was one major catch.
We get the news. We're on a schedule for the second year, but we're up against the A-Team, which has never lost its time slot. I mean, it's, you know, it beats the music awards, it beats the, you know, it just beats everybody.
Mr. T and company were loud and tough, but so was Tony Danza.
I wasn't afraid of Mr. T. Mr. T had nothing on Tony, as far as I was concerned.
In fact, Danza fired a warning shot on national television.
I was feeling pretty confident, and I said, hey, you better tell Mr. T to hawk some of that gold.
Danza was out on a limb, but not for long.
Later on, I saw Mr. T, and I told him I was only kidding, but it came true. I mean, you know, we just dominated it, and, you know, it did like a 21 rating, or some crazy number.
Just 1 week into the show's second season, Tony Danza was the star of a top 20 television series.
I remember going to like one of these fancy, dancy black tie things at the Beverly Hilton that night, that week after it had been on, and it was unbelievable. You know, it was just, you could just tell something big had happened.
Something big had happened. The only question now was, how would Danza and the cast handle their success?
E-News Weekend. We've got the week's top entertainment news covered.
Yes.
Hear the latest movie buzz.
Yeah, baby.
Get the in-depth stories.
Hi.
Stay connected to the stars you care about.
It's gotta be E!
From the leader in entertainment news, it's E-News Weekend. Tonight at 6 p.m.
Tonight, E! presents the Creative and the Awards at 8, followed by Sean William Scott hosting SNL and an hour of the Anna Nicole Show.
We went on a Disney cruise with Mickey and Goofy. I had my own club and my mom had a mud bath with Daddy.
The ship had a great spa. That's no funny.
And guess what? At the island, Captain Hook was there.
You just get back?
That was a year ago.
That was my baby brother. His name is Joe, but Mom calls him a little souvenir.
Obviously, we all had a great time.
Disney Cruise Line. Come discover uncharted magic.
Taste buds, two kinds. The little yes man sitting at the tip of your tongue sipping new age mango flavored tap water, and the boys in the back of the class getting all the glory. So for them, there's new Red Fusion from Dr. Pepper. Red Fusion, who's your soda?
The cars from Chrysler. Exhilarating performance. Incredible engineering. And of course, eye-catching designs. Now from Chrysler, our 7-year or 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty, because love is a commitment.
Wow. Worried about losing your wow? Ask your dermatologist or plastic surgeon about Botox Cosmetic, or call for the name of a doctor in your area. It's not magic, it's Botox Cosmetic.
You'll never think of a yeast infection the same way again. Monistat introduces the one-dose ovule, a soft gel insert that goes straight to the infection. It's part of the Monistat 1 combination pack, which brings you fast relief that starts immediately. Not so with that diflucan pill, which has to go through your entire system, so relief can take up to 24 hours. The Monistat 1 Ovule Combination Pack. The kind of relief you expect from the #1 doctor-recommended brand.
Anna consults a pet psychic, and things go from abnormal to paranormal. It's an all-new episode tomorrow at 10 on E!
People can't contain their excitement about Domino's Pizza new Buffalo Chicken Kickers. All-white chicken breast with a kick of spicy buffalo flavor. 10 pieces for $5.99. Get the door and get a kick out of dinner tonight. Now get an order of Cinesticks free when you buy a large one-topping pizza for $9.99.
Try our brand new Buffalo Chicken Kickers. Get a 10-piece order for only $5.99.
What's better than Broyhill? Broyhill on sale all across the country. Sofas on sale. Great office furniture, dining room, and bedroom. It's a huge national sale.
And it's all on sale at Furniture Town in Glendale, a Broyhill Showcase Gallery. During Broyhill's national sale, you'll find tremendous savings on everything in the store. Furniture Town is located where the I-5 and the 134 freeways meet, next to the Levex building. Furniture Town in Glendale.
Hurry, the sale ends soon.
By the fall of 1985, Who's the Boss was a bona fide hit. The Modest Little Family show zoomed past the competition to become the anchor of ABC's Tuesday night lineup. The entire cast had to adjust to the glare of the spotlight.
All of a sudden, we got huge, and then it got a little weird because I started getting recognized, and that was bizarre.
For Tony Danza, success was sweet.
I was, 30-something years old, running around Hollywood and with a series. I was a pretty happy guy.
Danza enjoyed his new status, but he also took his job very seriously.
I've never seen a successful show where the star didn't take personally the responsibilities of being the star of the show. He took on the responsibility of being the cheerleader and being the person who wanted to make sure that everybody was happy.
He's very passionate. There's nothing gray about Tony. It's black or it's white. He's a very hard worker and has an incredible commitment to whatever project he's doing.
In fact, Danza kept on top of every aspect of Who's the Boss. One of his main priorities was the studio audience.
Tony was a big proponent of getting into the audience and giving them jokes and making Catherine and Judith change as quickly as they possibly can. They used to have races to see who could get changed and ready for the next scene fastest. And in the meantime, Tony would tell jokes to the audience.
Danza was also in tune to the needs of the writing staff.
Tony was always the person who said, "This was funny on Monday. Guys, we're just tired of this. Don't change anything. I'm going to make this hilarious on Friday. Don't worry, I'll tell you when I need new jokes."
But one of Danza's most important roles on the set had nothing to do with television.
He really thought of Danny and Alyssa as his children. He adored them and was very protective of them. The watchful eye that Tony Micelli had on stage was, without question, carried over 24 hours a day.
He really led the way in terms of making sure that Alyssa and Dan knew that what was important was life and school and not this pretend world.
You have to really take the time to be involved in their lives, to say what's going on, how's school, encourage them.
I liked that because it made me feel like I had to pay attention, you know? I couldn't get away with just sort of slacking off.
Tony was very much a surrogate father. So I had 2 Italian fathers.
Sometimes I drove them totally nuts, but I think I had a little bit of a good, you know, I'm not taking responsibility for 2 of the greatest kids in the world, but certainly I had a little bit to do with it.
Danza had a way with kids, but he had another side to his personality, and he wasn't afraid to show it.
He blew his stack, but I think that actors have a privilege, are privileged to do that once in a while. It's their face out there. They're the one out there. The writers back in the wings, they know they don't have to face the music.
He's Italian, he's dynamic. You stay out of his way, or you know, you're invited into his way.
I grew up in a family where if they weren't yelling, they didn't care. I mean, that's how we communicated in my house. I mean, you know, what are you doing? You know, I mean, it was just, there's a passion about it. And when it came to the show, you know, I really, you know, it was important. It was important.
There are days that there are explosions, but when he was in the wrong, he used to say to me sometimes, "Oh, Kat, I'm a jerk. I behaved like a jerk. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said that," you know. He does, when he sits back and looks at himself, if he's right, he's right, and he'll stand to the very end. If he did make a mistake, he will eventually see it himself and say it to you, you know. And that takes a pretty big person.
He wanted things to be right. And he wanted the show to be successful. He wanted people around him to respond to the same depth and level and commitment that he had.
The one thing I will say in my own defense, and it's not the greatest defense, but it is the only thing I can go to, is that I was at least as hard on myself.
Danza was tough, but Who's the Boss was working. The subtle love story between Tony and Angela had 21 million fans glued to the TV set every week, while Mona and the kids kept the comedy coming. One memorable episode from the second year featured an up-and-coming New York actress with a style all her own, Fran Drescher.
She's a very funny lady, really a funny lady, and a person that can really take stage. So she was coming in as a decorator and totally taking over the house and her ideas and her colors.
Mona, this place is simply not you. Who designed it? Me.
Fran was such a hit that she was brought back at the end of the season to star in a pilot titled Charmed Lives. In the spin-off, Fran and Donna Dixon become unlikely spokesmodels for one of Angela's clients.
Lauren, Joyce?
Charmed Lives didn't go, but Fran's appearances on Stage 77 eventually led to a big opportunity.
Years and years and years later, we were pitching shows to CBS and pitched a show for Fran because we remembered that woman who played that decorator, and it turned out that that whole thing turned into us creating The Nanny with Fran.
Fran left a lasting impression, but even she couldn't steal the show. The sparks between Tony and Angela were really flying. Still, Danza adamantly opposed getting them together.
I like to think I didn't throw my weight around that much, but I did argue for what I thought made the show special. And I just think that once you make those huge jumps from what the original show is, you're running on empty.
A great debate raged in the writer's room.
There were 2 people in the early stages of the show who wanted to get them married in the second year.
Rob and I were always trying to get them together faster, but they knew, and as producers, they knew that we had to take our time.
We thought that the longer we could hold off the consummation of the relationship, the longer we'd stay on the air.
The way it was written was that these 2 characters, Tony Maselli and Angela Bauer, whenever they felt that it could cross the line or get out of hand, they made the effort to back off Because they felt the relationship was so precious, they did not want to jeopardize it.
My opinion was that once you went down that road, it was like being a little pregnant. No such thing. That you couldn't go back.
At least 2 members of the cast saw things differently.
I wanted Angela to be my stepmom. Definitely. I wanted them to get married. Absolutely.
I always felt that we could have, in fact, consummated that relationship and still had it be magical. That was not to be. People felt very strongly about us not doing that because they felt that relationships do break up.
Danza and co-creators Blake Hunter and Martin Cohen had their way, and everyone was rewarded with sizzling ratings. Who's the Boss finished its 2nd season at number 10.
So if Blake and Marty are watching this moment,
They were right.
We were wrong and they were right.
Tony and Angela kept the lid on their romance. But one member of the family was about to break out and try to become the boss of her very own show.
Wednesday, the fashion police are coming to E!
We will hit the red carpet with a vengeance.
And at this year's Emmys, they're tracking down the bold,
This is very dominatrix.
the beautiful,
Well, let's get another booty shot.
and the just plain ugly. It's the ultimate in red carpet justice. The Fashion Police, Wednesday at 9 only on E! Wednesdays at 10, Jules Asner takes you inside the private world of some of Hollywood's biggest stars. Reese Witherspoon revealed, this Wednesday at 10 on E!
This is hair color magic. Flat color disappears like that.
New Feria Pure Prismatic Color by L'Oreal.
Seeing is believing.
New Feria Pure Prismatic dyes transform light into a million facets of vibrant color for triple highlights.
Color that connects. Absolutely shimmering.
With ultra-hydrating conditioners.
What wreck or ravage my hair? This changes everything. New Feria by L'Oreal Paris. Color so multifaceted. It's prismatic. Because you're worth it.
Comfortable, casual clothes everyone loves. Hanes Comfort, it's a beautiful thing.
Collegiate life provides a scholar with a plethora of choices. Take getting to class. Should one skate? Excuse me. Bike? Bus. Guys. Or, thanks to Dell, you could drive this, ladies. All through September, Dell's giving away new BMWs in the BMW A Day giveaway. Yep, Dell helps you get the right PC for you and the chance to get to class with class.
Call or go online now, and you can win a BMW in Dell's BMW A Day giveaway when you order America's favorite PC, like this Dimension desktop for just $6.99, featuring an Intel Pentium 4 processor with awesome performance for music, digital photos, gaming, and beyond. And for a limited time, you'll get a free CD burner or DVD upgrade.
You must have gotten a Dell.
Easy to buy, easy to own, easy as Dell. Dell PCs use Intel Pentium 4 processors.
Phantom of the Opera, the timeless tale of seduction and desire that has captivated audiences around the world. Winner of 7 Tony Awards, Phantom now celebrates its 15th haunting year on Broadway.
By the fall of 1986, Who's the Boss was a confirmed winner. The series was humming along, but one guest in season 3 literally made everyone on stage 77 sing.
We got Ray Charles on the show, not bad.
The special visit came about after a friend gave Alyssa Milano a unique present.
He gave me a song called Always a Friend that he had recorded. He had a beautiful voice. And he gave it to me for my birthday, and I played it for the producers, and they built a whole episode around that song and got Ray Charles to come in and sing it.
The first day he got there, we had an electric piano, and he sat down and said, "I hate electric pianos." There was dead silence, and Tony said, "I think Mr. Charles wants a piano, and so I think we should get him one." It was wonderful to see him work because he did his lines by Braille. He listened perfectly. He came right in on cue, had his fingers on the Braille. It's a miracle.
He was so great. He was so great. I mean, it was... I just, you know, you can't believe the guy's blind.
By the way, he didn't need a script. By the time he came in, he knew all his lines.
The audience went crazy because they didn't know Ray Charles was coming. And then he appeared. I mean, the audience started stamping and applauding and screaming and laughing, and we just had to stop and let them get it all out of their systems.
I thought that audience would never stop applauding, and Ray didn't exactly discourage it.
Then he sat down and played, and the audience rocked, and we all sang, and the show was fabulous.
I looked at Tony's face, and we were all filled with a sense of wonder, and that does not happen often on what you consider just a sitcom.
Also, besides what he was planned to play in the show, he played afterwards, and the audience was clapping, we were jitterbugging, and audience was singing with him, you know. It was really a memorable night, I think, for the audience as much as us.
During year 3, Who's the Boss continued to cruise at 8 p.m. on Tuesday nights. But ABC executives were always looking for another Nielsen winner. This time, they turned to a member of the Who's the Boss family.
The spin-off for me was to be called The Mona Show. I had a brother in that, and we were going to run a crazy hotel.
Former Hill Street Blues star James B. Sicking was cast as Mona's brother, Cornelius Rockwell, in the new show. Behind the scenes, the powers that be were having second thoughts.
There was a great deal of concern and consternation about what that would do to Who's the Boss, to have the character of Mona lifted out. And I did see some of that when I did Soap. Robert Guillaume left after 2 years. It changed the show considerably. And so I could see that that was a valid concern.
She meant everything to the show. She was the backbone, really. Everyone loved Mona. The women wanted to be her, the men wanted to, you know, everyone loved Mona.
There was a lot of talk that I would do both, which seemed a wonderful idea for an actor, but the practicality of it, I'm sure, would have interfered terribly.
Eventually, Mona got the green light.
But I am not sorry that I bought this hotel. This represents a whole new chapter in my life.
Does it have to be chapter 11?
Despite the best efforts of cast and crew, Mona was not picked up for series.
It wasn't a finished enough product, I didn't think, to give it a time slot.
I think the network loved her too much as Mona to let her go, but I have no proof of that. I'm very sorry, because Catherine certainly deserves her own show.
Mona was back to stay, but other changes were in the air. Tony's little girl was growing up.
To go through puberty in front of millions of people with big hair and acid-wash jeans in the 80s. A little frightening.
Alyssa Milano's growing up also had an impact on her on-screen brother.
When we first started, it was totally like brother, sister, chums.
Danny was like, he was my only classmate. I mean, imagine being in a classroom with only one other student, and that was my relationship with Danny. So we had to like pass notes back and forth to each other.
But then she sort of became that young adult, teenager, boys and parties and friends and all that, and I was still the little brother.
The family dynamics were changing, but Who's the Boss finished at number 10 in the Nielsen ratings for the second straight year. The following season, another Nielsen arrived on the scene and turned stage 77 upside down.
Leslie Nielsen carries a little thing in his pocket, always, and it makes the sound of passing gas. I knew this when he came to the show, and I said, I am not going to laugh at this. He is not going to make me laugh at this. And so he came over, and he was so gentlemanly and so cordial, and he bent over and said, how do you do? I'm Leslie Nielsen, and then, and he broke me up.
It was funny for a while, and he kept doing it all week. And I knew that inevitably something was going to happen. And sure enough, I think we were on camera or something. And he did it again, and then Tony just said, okay, enough.
He's this fart guy, you know, he's got to do these fart things. And after a while, you're going, all right, give me a break. But he was great in every show that he did, and just a great guy to work with.
In fact, the veteran actor returned for an encore performance as millionaire Max Muldoon. Nielsen and Katherine Hellman were dashing as on-again, off-again lovers.
Everybody works beautifully with Mona, and they were natural.
We were a very good combination, physically, age-wise, our demeanor, and our sense of humor. So he had been really hand-picked to be a suitor, and they really wrote well, I thought, for that.
With the series closing in on 100 episodes, Who's the Boss peaked at number 6 for the 1987-88 season. The show was still flying high, but it was about to soar even higher. Tony Danza and company were going to land the granddaddy of all guest stars.
Tomorrow.
What the f is Bobby Trendy?
It's Beauty and the Butch when Frankie the designer confronts Bobby Trendy.
This is not made to her standards.
Who will be crowned Anna's queen of decor.
Just make Anna happy.
Plus, Anna consults a pet psychic. It's an all-new episode tomorrow at 10 on E! One showgirl feels the pressure to stay thin.
She doesn't lose the weight, then she's gone.
Vegas showgirls nearly famous. Tomorrow at 10:30 only on E!
The Four Feathers is epic filmmaking, unlike anything you've seen before. Critics hail it as a phenomenal cinematic achievement. Passionate and heroic. 4 stars. This is a glorious film. A vast adventure. Stunning and spectacular. The Four Feathers will sweep you away.
Just come back to me safely.
The Four Feathers, rated PG-13. Now playing.
Push the button.
Push the button. Push the button. I know.
You could do it.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Come on, what are you afraid of?
I'm scared of commitment.
Oh.
It's not a commitment. It's 10-10-220.
Yeah, but don't I have to sign up first?
That's the beauty of 10-10-220. You don't have to sign up.
Oh, so I just dial it, then 1, then the number.
Then it's 99 cents for all calls up to 20 minutes.
So I just dial it.
You just dial it.
Right now.
Right now.
Little privacy, please.
Oh, man. Check, please. Dial 10-10-220.
These shoes could inspire a whole outfit. Bet you can't guess where I found them. Payless. You won't believe the new looks. And the best thing, baby, they're all on sale at the buy one, get one half off sale. Let's go shopping. Look smart. Payless.
When you drop off your film, ask for the new Kodak Picture CD. It's the fast and easy way to email your pictures to everyone who needs to see them.
Share the moment, share life.
It's on. The Priceline.com supercomputer is on. Crunching the numbers, working the angles, calculating, analyzing, processing. See what everyone else is claiming the best deals are for airfare, hotel rooms, and rental cars. Then let the Name Your Own Price technology bag you the best price. Yours.
Price accepted.
It's done it again. The Priceline.com supercomputer, a marvel of online travel technology.
I think, therefore I say.
Talk about fabulous. Rhea Perlman, Mary Lou Henner, and Richard Kind have just joined the cast of The Tale of the Allergist Wife, the smash hit comedy that's the best time on Broadway. Call Telecharge today.
Who's the Boss was ruling the roost when it returned for a 5th season in the fall of 1988. The show was consistently in the top 10. The cast was getting used to the star treatment until they got a visit from one of the biggest stars of all.
Frank Sinatra, which was truly one of the most incredible experiences for me Aside from the fact that he would do it for me, because I mean, Frank Sinatra said, yeah, okay, I'll do the show.
Landing the chairman of the board took timing, chutzpah, and a specially tailored script.
It was about Mona and Tony competing to see who was the biggest Sinatra fan so that they could get the one ticket that Angela had left. There were 2 tickets. Angela was going to this affair. Sinatra was going to be there.
The guest of honor is Frank Sinatra.
Forget her. Take me. She doesn't deserve a damn thing.
The show had a bit at the end where I get thrown out because I'm driving everybody crazy trying to find him. They throw me out in the end. And what the original bit was, the guy goes to me, come on, let's go. And I go, all right, let me just go to the bathroom. I go in the bathroom and you hear from inside, Frank! It was pretty funny. But I was like, gee, imagine if we could get him, you know, and we do like a tag with Frank Sinatra.
Marty Blake said, you know, oh, we should write him in, you know. And he said, oh, he'd never come. And they said, you can only give it a try. Yeah. Because rumor had started. Someone heard that he loved the show.
Then fate intervened. Danza spotted Sinatra's daughter Tina at a Hollywood steakhouse.
We're friends. And so I sauntered over and I said, hey, Tina, you think your father would do my show? And she sort of looked at me like strangely, but she said, oh, I don't know, I'll ask him, you know. The next day I get a call, okay, he'll do it. And I couldn't believe it. I ran to the show to tell everybody, we got Sinatra.
No one was more excited than Danza's mother, Anne.
She used to say to me as a joke, sort of, or a semi-joke, she used to say to me, hey, big shot. Eh? You think you're a big shot? When you introduce me to Sinatra, then you're a star. So here was my opportunity.
But Danza had more in mind than just impressing his mother.
He was very respectful of his mother, and it was important to him to give back to her because he felt that she had given him a lot. And he knew how much she loved Frank Sinatra.
This was a moment that he could give her the gift of being there while he performed with Frank Sinatra.
So I flew my mother out. We brought it to the stage. I'll never forget it.
The company taped most of the episode on a regular show night, but a special shoot was added to accommodate Old Blue Eyes.
He came over on a Saturday afternoon. He and his wife were going to Europe, and they stopped in on the way.
He couldn't do it on a Friday night. And it made it easier for us anyway.
Everyone knew who the real boss was when the chairman of the board showed up.
We all went to this studio and waited for the arrival, and then walkie-talkies and phones and whatever, and then we heard he has arrived, the limo has pulled up.
He's coming, Frank Sinatra's coming. And my mother, who is like one of the most talkative people in the world, 4'11", just mouth, she is frozen. She can't, I mean, I'll never forget, she had a cup of coffee too, that's right, she was just like this.
He came with the entourage and Jilly and the whole business. And he was like a little kid when he arrived. He was so happy to be on that show. He loved it.
He was there, funny, available, connected to everybody, just putting himself out, giving in an enormous way.
He said hi to my mom, and she just couldn't even answer him, you know. He walks out of the room to go to makeup, and she threw a coffee cup up in the air. She was just so, you know.
But Tony's mother wasn't the only starstruck person that Saturday.
Everybody was just, well, do we go, do we go? You could feel a power that was filling the entire studio. And I finally went to the makeup room, and I introduced myself to him, and he said, fine, whatever. And we started walking towards the stage. And he looked around and he said, oh, I remember this stage. I think we shot from here to eternity here. And I just was filled with such a sense of history.
Even Tony couldn't help getting into the act.
When he was in the makeup chair, Tony played the pilot for him, in which Tony quotes, I did it my way, the Sinatra song, and he got a big kick out of that.
Of course, some people were more impressed than others.
I think the great thing about being a kid is not really being aware of who you're meeting at the time. I think if I were to work with any of those people that I worked with at that age, I probably would be more overwhelmed now than I was, you know, when I was 12 or 13. But a very nice guy.
With the pleasantries finished, it was time to get down to business.
So that day we shot the thing, we shot the bit, and we did it once. And, you know, we had it. And he said, you want to do it again? Which was, you know, that wasn't the way it was supposed to be. Remember, one take, Sinatra. That's all he does.
And Tony said, if you want to do it, you're the boss. If you want to do another take, okay, by us. And so he said, oh, I think we better do another take. So we did another take, went straight through it.
And he was ready to work some more, you know. So it's like, no, we got it.
There's always been one question I've been dying to ask you.
What?
How does it feel to be worshipped and adored by millions and millions of women?
Nice.
I knew it!
For the cast and crew alike, Sinatra's visit was unforgettable.
There was just something about a moment in time that we all knew was not going to happen again.
Sometimes I even say, really, I worked with Frank Sinatra.
But a unique bond was also forged that day between Frank Sinatra and Tony's mom, Anaya Danza.
The way that he treated her, I mean, you know, he knew that it was special to her. So he went out of his way to make her feel like, oh, she was the most important thing to him that day. And I'll never forget it. I mean it. And I loved him before, and because of that, I just think he was unbelievable.
For Danza and company, Sinatra's visit was hard to top, but more excitement was on the way, and so was a Who's the Boss mystery.
Tonight, catch all the stars, all the laughs, and all the music of Saturday Night Live as last season's SNL comes to E!
That sounds great!
Watch Sean William Scott host Saturday Night Live, tonight at 10, only on E! Hollywood turns the spotlight on the stars behind the camera.
Tonight, we honor those people who give us faces.
The Creative Emmy Awards, all new, tonight at 8, only on E!
Next, please.
Well, hello.
Oh, great. A talking gecko.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Customer satisfaction is at an all-time high. I don't think we've ever had numbers this high. I mean, this guy has really worked his tail off. His tail.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Check it out. No, really, check it out.
New Pure Zone, 3-step continuous action skincare system from L'Oreal.
Breakouts? Not here. Blemishes? Bye-bye. And oil slicks? Beware.
New Pure Zone, 3-step skincare system from L'Oreal Paris.
I'm gonna get to where I'm going. I'm on my way, yes, I'm gonna get there when I do. Maybe I'll see you. It's about to get serious up in here. Maybe I'll see you.
It was supposed to be the perfect crime. This is a machine that runs on fear. Until she refused to be the perfect victim.
Take me to her, you son of a...
We got a situation here. Trapped.
I'm coming to get you.
Rated R. Now playing.
Jules Asner takes you inside the lives of Hollywood's biggest stars. This Wednesday at 10, it's Reese Witherspoon revealed.
Hi, Steve Busjager. Star Ford is out to be #1. Discounts, rebates, net to you.
Take a free ride. Star Ford says no payments till January 2003, plus 0% APR for 60 months. Interest-free financing or up to $5,000 cash back. Get Star Power. 2002 Ford Explorer. 4-door, just $18,988. Act now and make no payments till 2003. Because Steve says so. Star Ford net to you on Grand Boulevard in Glendale.
The Downtown Glendale Merchants Association, along with the LA County Arts Commission Open House and the Alex Theater, present the DGMA Arts and Flower Show. There'll be artists, live entertainment, a sidewalk sale, and a flower display like you've never seen before. You can even express your own creativity on the city's Chalk Walk. Saturday, October 5 from noon to 5 in the heart of downtown Glendale. For information, call 818-427-2219 or visit our website at downtownglendale.com. The DGMA Arts and Flower Show. See you there.
In the spring of 1989, Who's the Boss was breezing to its 4th straight top 10 finish. The creative team was willing to take some chances. They sent the characters of Tony and Angela out on a date, but that first night out was just a baby step.
I bet you don't know my favorite author, Beatles song, Color.
Jane Austen, Hey Jude, and Green.
What shade?
Emerald.
When I was 7 years old, our gardener...
Ben.
Gave me a little kitten.
Black Persian, one-eyed cross.
What was the name?
Little Whiskers.
Of the gardener's wife.
Ben never married.
The brilliance of it was that they kept the ball in the air. The writers kept the ball in the air, and we, Judith and I, were able to keep people interested in our relationship without ever consummating it. Into the 6th year.
There were also major developments off-screen. With more than 100 episodes in the bank, Who's the Boss was sold into syndication for a whopping $2.5 million per episode. The deal was the second richest syndication sale in history, behind only The Cosby Show.
The show had the elements of variety so that it would play at 6 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, wherever you wanted to syndicate it. And so it was an easy sale.
The syndication deal also created a Who's the Boss mystery, according to writer-producer Ross Brown.
Devoted fans of Who's the Boss might not know this, but there's a lost episode of Who's the Boss that they may not have seen during the 8-year network run on ABC.
The story began when ABC set out to use Who's the Boss as a launching pad for an all-new series called Living Dolls.
They wanted to do a show about teenage models and decided the best way to launch this show would be as one of the girls who was a model was a friend of Alyssa Milano's character on Who's the Boss, and that would introduce the arena of modeling.
Explained to me, because as a child you need a lot of explanation, that I wasn't going to be on Living Dolls. I was still going to be on Who's the Boss, but that they were utilizing the character.
In the pilot of Living Dolls, Sam travels to a Manhattan modeling academy as part of an assignment for the school newspaper. One of the models is a friend from the old neighborhood, Charlie Briscoe. Leah Remini played Charlie.
She's a street girl from Brooklyn with a big mouth but a heart of gold. A tough exterior, soft interior.
Briscoe?
Yeah, who wants to know?
Apartment 4B.
Miss Sally? I don't believe it. What the hell are you doing here?
There was at least one other notable Living Dolls model.
Vivica Fox played Emily, who was the brainy model who wanted to be a medical student.
Modeling's okay for the money, but my real thing is to become a doctor.
Former Walton star Michael Learned ran the show. ABC liked the Living Dolls pilot and put the series on the fall schedule. But the network suits weren't completely satisfied.
They said, we're picking up the show, but we want to make some casting changes.
ABC shelved the pilot and ordered the Living Dolls team to replace 3 actors on the show, including Vivica Fox.
We found another real model who had not done any acting before, but who was just extraordinarily beautiful, and we said, we've got to have her, and it turned out to be Halle Berry.
You see, this modeling stuff is great, but for me, it's just a way to make money so I can go to medical school.
The new pilot with Halle Berry was not produced in connection with Who's the Boss. So now the brass at ABC needed another storyline to link the 2 shows together.
They decided that the way to introduce the show would be to have a prequel episode, as it were, of Who's the Boss, which introduced the Charlie Briscoe character, played by Leah Remini, and Michael Learned's character, who was the woman who ran the modeling agency, Trish.
The episode, titled Life's a Ditch, aired at the beginning of the 6th season of Who's the Boss. This time, the Charlie character was introduced in a completely different way.
I was supposed to be Alyssa Milano's best friend that ran away from home and came to, be with Alyssa and live in her house. So, we were like lying to her father. She was like, my friend needs a place to stay. And, cut to, he finds out that I ran away from home.
But a chance encounter changes Charlie's life forever.
Angela was going to film a commercial in the Bauer/Maselli household in Connecticut, and Trish, who was Angela's friend and was the den mother, so to speak, on Living Dolls, would be there because she had actresses and models who were appearing in the commercial.
Charlie turns heads when she stands in for the star of the commercial, Bowser.
Down on all fours with your face in a bowl of beef byproducts.
Despite Charlie's rough edges, Trish spots her potential as a model, and a new series is born again.
I'm talking about becoming a real model.
Yeah, okay, so finish the joke.
It's no joke. You can live with me and the other new models, and I'll train you.
Is she on any medication?
Then I went back with Michael Lerner into Living Dolls.
Leah Remini and Halle Berry gave everything they had on Living Dolls. But the show was canceled after just 13 episodes.
Our highlight of being on Living Dolls was we went to a New Kids on the Block concert.
While life went on as normal for Tony Danza and company, dedicated fans were soon scratching their heads. The original Living Dolls pilot with Vivica Fox turned up in reruns of Who's the Boss.
Columbia still had an episode of Who's the Boss hanging around, so they included it in their syndication package. It conflicted in that we had Samantha running into Charlie Briscoe and being surprised to run into her and hearing about it. Well, she can't be surprised that she's working as model when she's seen her get a job already, so that didn't quite work.
Who's the Boss was now playing morning, noon, and night in syndication, while the sixth season in primetime was filled with the usual blend of comedy and romance. But in the spring of 1990, everyone was in for a shock. Who's the Boss failed to make the top 10 for the first time in nearly 5 years.
It's disappointing when a series starts to slip. We still really believed in it. It's painful to see when the numbers drop and then you have to contemplate moving it to a different time period.
Despite the dip in the ratings, Who's the Boss was still strong at number 12. But the producers were committed to returning to the top 10, and they were willing to gamble to get there.
The Emmys are center stage, and E brings you closer than ever when we go live on TV's biggest night.
Come on.
Joan and Melissa are on the prowl for exclusive reactions.
I'm doing it, and then some.
It's so fun being up here.
Be part of TV history with our in-depth live coverage of the Emmy Awards. Tomorrow at 6, only on E, the leader in award show coverage. It's Beauty and the Butch when Frankie the designer confronts Bobby Trendy.
Just make Anna happy.
It's an all-new episode tomorrow at 10 on E.
The richest lip color, now with the brilliance of crystal. Breakthrough technology from L'Oreal. New Color Riche Crystal Shine, the most sparkling shine in the creamiest color. New Color Riche Crystal Shine by L'Oreal Paris, because you're worth it. Look at this.
Great shoes.
Where'd you get them? The DSW Fall Collection for women and men is here. All the brands, all the styles, all at prices you can actually afford. DSW. For the perfect shoes, look no further.
Got a minute? Why not whiten your teeth with new Colgate Simply White? Just apply the clear gel twice a day. You'll have whiter teeth in 2 weeks. New Colgate Simply White.
That's me walking. But I couldn't have walked 6 blocks when I was that heavy. Slim Fast helped me lose over 50 pounds. I've kept it off for a whole year. To celebrate, I did a 3-day walk for a cure. Walking up to the finish line was so amazing. I was so proud of myself. The Slim Fast plan is not about giving up food. It's about eating healthier. Slim Fast has the nutrition I need. Now I look at life as one big possibility.
Slim Fast. It's your life. Feed it right.
Think this is the only way to get that right out of the dryer freshness to last? Then get the long-lasting freshness of Bounce. It keeps everything dryer fresh, even days later. Bounce, the start of something fresh. Think this is the only way to enjoy right out of the dryer freshness? Then get the long-lasting freshness of Bounce. It keeps everything dryer fresh, even days later. Bounce, the start of something fresh.
Phantom of the Opera, the timeless tale of seduction and desire that has captivated audiences around the world. Winner of 7 Tony Awards, Phantom now celebrates its 15th haunting year on Broadway.
During the summer of 1990, Who's the Boss producers were wrestling with a problem. The sitcom's audience was changing.
We were losing our younger demographics because Alyssa and Danny were growing up.
And we thought that after many years on the air that was an element that we could add back to the show and try to recapture something that we thought we might have lost.
The producers set out to find a young child with the wits to handle a regular sitcom role. One candidate made an immediate impression on Tony Danza.
I loved him, Jonathan Haliaker.
I remember Tony being pretty astounded at my answers to his questions. Like, he would ask every little kid how old they were, and I said I was 4, and he asked me when I was going to be 3. And every other kid was just kind of taken aback by that, and I was like, what do you want me to do, go backwards?
Jonathan Haliaker joined the cast as Billy, the grandson of a woman from Tony's old neighborhood.
He lived with his grandmother, and his grandmother got sick, and his grandmother was a part of Tony's life at some point, and she came to him to ask him to take care of me.
The 4-year-old quickly settled into a routine.
I have pretty much of a photographic memory, so I would get each copy of the script as it came, and I would memorize all the lines. It was basically just a big game for me. I loved it. He was wonderful, a darling, adorable little boy, and added to the show for a lot of people and gave us something to deal with and look at in a different way.
He idolized, worshiped Tony, which, by the way, he did in real life, too.
Billy, what are you doing?
I'm making a cake. Just like you, Tony.
While Who's the Boss was reinventing itself at home, the show was getting a fresh start across the Atlantic Ocean.
A lot of shows originate in England, then they do an American version. To our knowledge, anyhow, there was never a show that went from America to England until Who's the Boss.
British producer Christopher Walker bought the rights to the Who's the Boss library and named his show The Upper Hand. Walker set out to recreate Who's the Boss almost word for word.
It was exactly the same show. They bought it as is, the scripts as is, they shot them as is, with the exception of some changes in the terminology from American to English.
There were certain scripts that wouldn't work. For instance, Alyssa's school situation was not the same situation that a little girl in England would have, so you had to toss those scripts out because they didn't make any sense in England.
The story began in London, as Charlie Burroughs and his daughter Joanna set out in search of a brand new life.
But Mrs. Riley, you've got to admit this area is going to the dogs. When Joanna starts coming on with a black eye, it's time for us to move out.
That's because there were 3 of them, Dad. And I got one of them sneezing out of his ear.
The Upper Hand starred Joe McGann as Charlie and Diana Weston as Angela's alter ego, Caroline Wheatley. Honor Blackman, best known in America as Bond girl Pussy Galore, played Laura, Caroline's salty but wise mother.
Here you are, Mr. Burroughs. Right on time. What a reliable person, eh?
Unlike Who's the Boss, The Upper Hand was an instant hit in its home country. That was a shock to Hunter and Cohen.
We didn't think it would be very successful. Who knew? But it was successful. It went on the air and it ran for 6 or 7 years, and it was the #1 comedy in England while it was on the air.
But while The Upper Hand was on the rise, Who's the Boss was facing a crisis. The addition of Billy just wasn't working.
It was cute and it was great. The kid was funny and maybe a little too cute, by the way. But I don't think it didn't mesh with the original design of the show. So it couldn't work. I mean, we did the best we could with it. I think Judith and I, and everybody in the show worked very hard at it. But it just wasn't the original idea of the show.
A smart thing to try. But as time went on, they really wanted to bring the core of the family back together again.
For the tight-knit cast, the new edition presented a whole other problem.
We were like a moving train, and you had to jump and hold on for dear life because we were like a welled oil machine by the time Jonathan came.
The little boy slowed them down. It slowed everything down. It threw us off, and it just didn't work.
We'd been working together so long, we knew it was coming and we knew how to do it.
There were times that in the evening when tape night, he would put his head down on the table. And I could see he was tired and he was sleepy. I just felt he was too young, and I said so, which wasn't a popular opinion at that time.
Ultimately, the producers made the difficult decision to let Jonathan go. But there were other storm clouds on the horizon by the spring of 1991. Rescue 911 on CBS was pounding Who's the Boss on Tuesday nights. The show dropped to 19th in the Nielsen rankings.
It was typical audience erosion. It wasn't like everybody left the series. You know, as the years progress and you watch the same show and the stories start seeming a little tired, less people watch, and that's what happened with Who's the Boss.
One member of the cast wanted to call it quits.
I was ready to explore other things, and I thought it was really important that I go to high school because I had no social skills at all. I had been tutored since I was 7 years old.
Alyssa was persuaded to stay for another year, but she was growing up and ready to move on. Barring a major turnaround, the 8th season of Who's the Boss was going to be the last.
Tomorrow,
Where the f is Bobby Trendy?
it's Beauty and the Butch when Frankie the designer confronts Bobby Trendy.
This is not made to her standards.
Who will be crowned Anna's queen of decor.
Just make Anna happy.
Plus, Anna consults a pet psychic. It's an all-new episode tomorrow at 10 on E! One showgirl feels the pressure to stay thin.
She doesn't lose the weight, then she's gone.
Vegas showgirls nearly famous. Tomorrow at 10:30 only on E!
Gene Shalit raves. The Four Feathers is a rousing panoramic adventure on a grand scale. It's heroic and passionate. 4 stars. This is thrilling entertainment. The Four Feathers, rated PG-13. Now playing.
We went on a Disney cruise with Mickey and Goofy. I had my own club and my mom had a mud bath with Daddy.
The ship had a great spa. That's not funny.
And guess what? At the island, Captain Hook was there.
You just get back?
That was a year ago.
That's my baby brother. His name is Joe, but Mom calls him a little souvenir.
Obviously, we all had a great time.
Disney Cruise Line. Come, discover uncharted magic.
In our house, we work together to keep things running smoothly, but no one works as hard as CLR Bathroom and Kitchen Cleaner Deodorizer. In the bathroom before work, the kids' after-school snack, Dad's famous spaghetti sauce, stains, soap scum, even hard water deposits don't stand a chance. It used to take 3 or 4 different products to clean the 2 messiest rooms in our house. Now just one CLR Bathroom and Kitchen Cleaner Deodorizer does it all.
You'll find CLR Bathroom and Kitchen Cleaner Deodorizer at these and other fine stores.
Check it out. No, really, check it out.
New Pure Zone, 3-step continuous action skincare system from L'Oreal.
Breakouts? Not here. Blemishes? Bye-bye. And oil slicks? Beware.
New Pure Zone, 3-step skincare system from L'Oreal Paris.
Frank Taylor was following a lead the day he nearly died. Help us. Now he's torn between 2 worlds.
What if I told you that I was seeing things?
The one he lives in.
And I'm being haunted.
And the one that won't let him go.
Gotcha. This isn't about me, and you know it.
Journey to the Other Side of Tuesday. Matthew Fox. Haunted, the premiere of The Other Side of Tuesday on UPN. Check your local listings.
See how the show that broke all the rules became a TV comedy legend. SNL TV Tales, next.
Elegante Beauty College. Secure your future today. We offer placement assistance and tuition is no problem. Financial aid is available for those who qualify. For information, call Elegante Beauty College. Elegante Beauty College has 4 locations, located in La Puente, Moreno Valley, Lake Forest, and Burbank. Call 888-868-1389. Elegante Beauty College. Secure your future today.
Introducing a new standard for freshness. And a new standard for savings. This week at Albertsons, save on fresh, vine-ripe cantaloupe, 5 pounds for just $1. Fresh, boneless, skinless chicken breasts, only $1.77 a pound. And selected varieties of Breyer's ice cream, 2 for just $6. Looking for thousands of bonus buys? Albertsons, it's your store.
Changes were in store when Who's the Boss returned for its 8th season in the fall of 1991. One character vanished. Billy was written out of the show and sent back to live with his grandmother. But the most shocking change was a new time slot in the sitcom graveyard.
When we moved it to Saturday night, Tony was not a happy camper. And he expresses his opinion with strength. And he'd done so much for ABC. It was hard, but we also could no longer look at the series in a vacuum, and we had to do what we felt was right for the schedule.
We started to taper off, and they were looking to keep it alive, but, you know.
The show that spent 4 straight years in the Nielsen Top 10 was now simply hanging on. The writing was on the wall for Who's the Boss and Tony Danza.
It had been such a great experience. You didn't want to go out, you know, at their whim. You wanted to say, hey, we did it, that's good. And that's really what it came down to. It was just, and it was time. I mean, don't get me wrong. Would you like to have another year? Or, you know, it was a great job, and we're making a lot of money, yeah. But at some point, you got to also say, hey, I've done this, and to try to wring anything else out of it would only diminish it.
You know, all things come to an end. For one thing, we were running out of stories.
The producers began making preparations to end one of television's longest-running courtships.
Blake and I wanted to get them married because we thought that at the end of 8 years, our faithful audience wanted that sense of completion.
That would have changed the dynamic, and it would have been a new show, and maybe it would have given us a new audience.
But that plan hit a snag.
I vehemently didn't want to get married because I thought the show was about 2 people who weren't married and their crazy relationship. They should never get together.
Ultimately, the suits broke the tie.
The company that was responsible for syndicating the show didn't want them to get married because they felt that shows that had had a big finale didn't do as well in syndication. They just wanted them to drift off into the sunset.
Tony and Angela's marriage was nixed, but the producers were determined to marry off at least one member of the Misselli family. In a 2-part episode titled Better Off Wed, Samantha elopes with her boyfriend, Hank.
The greatest thing about that storyline for me was the father letting go of the daughter. And they did it in the father of the bride way, you know, in that sort of comedic, I don't want to let it go, you know, so that whole storyline was dead on as far as I'm concerned with an Italian father and his daughter getting married.
This wedding will take place, father of the brideless. Maybe I didn't make myself clear.
For Tony Danza, the emotions of the storyline were real.
I really thought of her as my daughter. I mean, she just grew up with me. I knew her from the time she was 10. It's just amazing, you know, to have somebody grow up with you, you know, on TV and just every day. You see somebody every day. And so it was like giving your daughter away.
I'm so glad you were here, Dad.
Hey, just because I gave you away, don't mean you're not still mine.
With only a handful of episodes remaining in the run, the question now is how to wrap it all up. One wild suggestion was on the table.
We even thought of having an episode where Tony becomes a father and a grandfather both on the same night.
But the producers hit upon an idea that was surprisingly simple.
I just thought that was so brilliant. But when I read it, I thought, oh, God, how am I going to get through this?
The final 3 episodes saw Tony, now a college graduate, accept a teaching position at a small Iowa university.
Tony, come on. This is terrific. This is more terrific than I was counting on.
Angela moves to Iowa, but the adjustment is too much for her, and she returns to Connecticut alone.
So wait a minute. What are we saying here? That we can't make this work? That it's over?
I'm sorry.
It seemed like that was going to be the end, and then we replayed the first scene of the show.
You come back and ask for my job again.
And there I was 8 years later, standing at the top of the stairs in the bathroom with a towel in my head and opening the door to Tony. And it was like it is for me now. It was very emotional.
Morning.
Tony.
Hi.
What are you doing here?
Well, I heard you were looking for a housekeeper.
Yeah, what are you doing here?
I heard you were looking for a housekeeper.
I'll never forget the look on his face after he kissed me. There's that kiss, and then I say, "You've got the job."
No kidding.
And I just will have his face in my memory forever.
And that was the end. They're back together.
For the cast and crew, the final shoot night was powerful and bittersweet.
It was easy to be emotional because I think everybody knew this was something really special in their lives that doesn't come around a lot. You know, it's very rarely you get another eight-year show, you know, and one that is so loved and that you could really be proud of, you know, you could really be proud of it.
I remember taking the final curtain call after the taping and bawling my eyes out of nowhere. Like not even thinking about it, but just all of a sudden being overwhelmed by this emotion and crying.
We knew that we would see each other, but that we knew we wouldn't see each other in this configuration ever again.
We said goodbye to the audience, and the audience said, saying things like, don't go off the air, and that makes you choke up just a bit.
That moment when Tony and Judith are standing at the door again, it's just, oh, it's painful, but in a good way painful, because you're experiencing something with people you really love.
After 8 years, 193 episodes, and 3 pilots, Who's the Boss ended its original run in April of 1992. The show never won an Emmy, and it never ranked #1. But the series left a lasting footprint on the landscape of network television. The American family was alive and well. It just looked a little different.
E! Online gets you inside television's biggest night. See who's wearing what, who they're with, and who's a winner.
It's an incredibly overwhelming night.
E! Online's got it covered. The latest news, live rank, backstage reports, and a special Emmy Fashion Police. America Online users type AOL keyword E! or click the entertainment channel, then E! Online. E! Online, your daily entertainment fix.
Wow. Worried about losing your wow? Ask your dermatologist or plastic surgeon about Botox Cosmetic, or call for the name of a doctor in your area. It's not magic, it's Botox Cosmetic.
Every Lexus sedan comes with a VVTi engine for power when you need it.
I do all the taste testing for the show. Cow eyeballs, tongue. That stuff's cake. But this new thing from Baskin-Robbins with the spiders and slime, those people are sick. What twisted mind comes up with this stuff? I ain't touching it.
The truth is, I don't know who I am.
When you are your own greatest mystery.
Chain gang tattoo?
Birthmark.
Every clue
Yo, Spider-Man, crime scene's down here.
could bring you closer to the truth.
This woman's the key to it all.
Team Guide calls John Doe brilliant.
We have a victim killed within the last 24 hours.
And the LA Times says it's the fall's most intriguing new series.
I can help you more than you know.
John Doe, an all-new episode, Fox Friday.
See you there. Don't be late.
Going somewhere special? Then you'll want to stop by the JCPenney Fall Fashion Sale, where you'll save 20 to 50% on women's delicate ruffles, seasonal plaids, and buttery soft suede, plus classic looks for men. The JCPenney Fall Fashion Sale makes any occasion special. It's all inside JCPenney.
Pizza Hut. There are big dogs here. Bobby, is that you? I'm having second thoughts about this whole NFL XL deal.
A big New Yorker for $8.99 and a free 2-liter of Pepsi. All season long on Sundays and Mondays. It's gonna be the greatest deal around.
Not from where I'm sitting.
Try the NFL XL deal from Pizza Hut and Pepsi. Get a free 2-liter Pepsi when you buy an extra large pizza for only $8.99. Only available this season on Sundays and Mondays. Only at Pizza Hut. You make the call.
Come on in and watch the game.
We'll deliver the deal. Les Miserables, now in its 16th year on Broadway. USA Today proclaims Les Miserables send spirits soaring. This is epic musical theater on an unparalleled scale. Call Telecharge today.
Who's the Boss left the air in 1992, but the series lived on with a strange accent. The upper hand ran in England until 1996. For co-creators Blake Hunter and Martin Cohen, the British series gave them a second chance to complete their story.
Blake and I wrote an original episode in which they got married.
But P.S., that was the last show.
While the British actors heard wedding bells, the cast of Who's the Boss were well on their way to brand new lives of their own. Danny Pintaro quit acting to attend Stanford University. But when a national tabloid threatened to out him, Danny turned to his TV family for advice and support.
My first instinct was to call Judith.
He called me, and he said, essentially, you've been my second mother, and I want to come out to you. I want to tell you that I'm gay.
And she said, look, they can write a really bad story about you, but they can't misquote you. So do the story, and at least what you say will be right.
His coming out was a watershed experience for him in terms of moving on with the rest of his life.
Coming out was definitely a positive experience, surprisingly. I've been living with my partner now we've been together for almost a year and a half, and you know, I've got that life stability which I lacked before because I didn't know what it meant to me.
After graduating from Stanford, Danny was ready to return to his first love, acting. Now known as Dan, the former child star is leading the life of a New York theater actor.
I love being an actor, and I can't wait to see what the next step is with being an actor. I can't wait to find a new character to play.
The end of Who's the Boss left Alyssa Milano at an emotional and professional crossroads.
So many things went through my head about, am I ever going to work again? And I miss everybody, and also being so excited about what comes next.
In fact, Alyssa spent several years after Who's the Boss struggling to shed her little girl image. But a season on Melrose Place and a sizzling perfume commercial transformed her into a full-fledged sex symbol.
I said, when I first met her, this is the next Elizabeth Taylor. And I believe I was right. I think she's gorgeous.
In 1998, Alyssa secured her switch from child star to primetime grown-up with a role in the hit WB series, Charmed. Katherine Hellman stayed busy in theater, and in 1996, she began a recurring role as Ray Romano's mother-in-law on another hit family series, Everybody Loves Raymond.
I like the format very much. The thing I like about it is the spontaneity. I like the fact that you get in, you do it in a hurry, you work all week long changing things, and suddenly the audience is there on Friday night.
Judith Light returned to series television in Phenom and The Simple Life. Both sitcoms got the axe, but Judith found success on Broadway, dazzling audiences and critics in such plays as Wit and Sorrows and Rejoicings. In 2002, she began a recurring role on Law & Order SVU.
I'm just one of the people from Who's the Boss that just didn't do anything after Who's the Boss.
Like Judith, Tony Danza made 2 attempts to return to the sitcom format. While Hudson Street and The Tony Danza Show both failed, Tony reinvented himself as a song and dance man and earned solid reviews in the CBS drama Family Law. But for Danza, everything comes back to Who's the Boss.
That show meant everything. I mean, that show changed my life. I got married, I got kids. There were so many things that went on, and it was facilitated by that show.
Tony, Angela, Mona, Samantha, and Jonathan are all a part of television history. But for fans and everyone connected to Who's the Boss, they're as real as their own family members.
When you think of ABC's signature comedies, Who's the Boss? Right up there.
It's a show that came on against the odds at a time when nobody thought a new comedy would work. In a very difficult time period, it beat the odds and aired for 8 years.
That show ran like clockwork, and it was a well-oiled machine, and it was a warm and fuzzy place to be.
It was a nice family show, and it wasn't a goody-goody family show. And we had a little spice in it.
It was a high-concept show that somehow we were able to make believable.
It had that wonderful good fortune of characters that were well conceived.
I think that's why it sustained itself for 8 years. It was a real person there doing and being, and not just acting silly.
Everybody was just so wonderfully talented on the show, and I thank God that that was my first show to be trained under.
I don't think it could have been any luckier or any easier of a cast to be a part of. Some really great people, and people behind the scenes too.
You know, it's just about family.
It is about heart and love.
Every place I go, I run into 22 to 27-year-old kids. They all tell me, I grew up with you. I grew up with you. I'm really proud of this thing.
It's going to be a long story, so I'd like to sit down.
Not in my bedroom.
Not in my bedroom. Not in my bedroom.
Oh, no, out here.
Grant's moving up to chairman of the board, and he's going to recommend a new president this week. I have a good shot at it. At least I did.
And I've got a good shot at it. At least I did.
And I think I've got a good shot at it. At least I did.
Tremendously romantic.
In 1967, I was a movie usher in San Francisco, working at the Alhambra Theater on Polk Street. And it was a summer job right before I went to college. And this movie, Barefoot in the Park, was the first movie that was playing my initial week at the movie theater.
Paul, tell me you're not sorry we got married.
After 40 minutes, let's give it a couple of hours first.
What you realize very quickly when you're a movie usher is you can't, I don't care what the film is, if it's Citizen Kane, you can't watch it 21 times in 1 week. And Barefoot in the Park is hardly Citizen Kane. So what I started doing to keep my sanity is I started watching the audience watch the movie.
Thank you, Mr. Dooley. Next time you're in New York, just call me up.
You're now noticing where the audience is laughing, where maybe you weren't.
But guess what I am? You're drunk.
When Robert Redford, towards the tail end of the movie, is showing his wife, Jane Fonda, how he's been liberated and how he's now a free spirit, and he's wandering around in Washington Square barefoot with a garbage can over his head. I mean, the audience was laughing. Was I laughing? No. But the audience did find it funny. They laughed at the stretch in the exotic restaurant where everybody was, you know, dancing around and belly dancers and everything else. That wasn't my taste, but I learned from the audience. You also get to observe the craft of a director in the way a joke is staged and where the joke is played, and was it played in close-up?
What kind of fish is it?
Eel. Eel?
Eel.
Was it set up in a two-shot because you're getting a laugh because of the expression on one person's face, the reaction to the other person delivering the line?
You must pop it. Look.
Oh, yes.
Little things like that, that I'm sure an audience doesn't pay that much attention to. They just want to know, did it amuse them? But for me, it was sort of a time where I could, at $1.42 an hour, ponder these weighty subjects. At a very early age, I sort of became, absorbed by the television set in my room and the programs that unspooled, on that set. I would go beyond, I guess, where most kids would go and say, oh, that's a lousy show. I remember seeing, like, Dennis the Menace and complaining to my parents at age 9 that I thought that they, grossly miscast Dennis, that I thought that Jay North was terribly wrong for the part, and, I was quite upset about it.
Telephone company.
Repetition is a big factor in comedy. It's the comfort of seeing the same things happen over and over and over again.
Just put them down anywhere.
It was a great turn for Boyer. I mean, he comes into the play about a third of the way through, and he is, the truly magical figure that lifts the movie up.
Who are you?
Who are you?
I live here.
So do I.
How delightful.
It's probably a significant role for him because he used to play the Redford parts. And here he is, playing the character part.
So, you say you live here?
Just moved in today.
I love the scene where he's with Jane Fonda, you know, sort of the old roue and the young woman.
You know, of course, you're unbearably pretty. All indications point to my falling in love with you.
The awkwardness of Robert Redford being kissed by Jane Fonda. There's an awful lot of kissing in this movie. The moments between Redford and Jane Fonda of, you know, sort of getting out of the honeymoon phase of their relationship and dealing with the fact of who they were as people and everything.
You don't consider this a crisis. Our whole marriage is hanging in the balance.
It is? When did this happen?
Just now, it has suddenly become very clear to me that you and I have absolutely nothing in common.
If I was producing the movie version of the stage play, I might have gone against the maxim of show business, which is, you know, write Yiddish, cast British, which, you know, was the thing that was always said to Jewish writers. You know, Carl Reiner wrote the Dick Van Dyke Show for himself, and then he filmed the pilot, and then, you know, everybody said, Carl, we want somebody less ethnic, and so they got Dick Van Dyke. In this movie, I'm sure Neil Simon wrote it to be about neurotic Jewish people in, you know, in New York City, and then, of course, casting very Gentile with Jane Fonda and Robert Redford.
Did you miss me today?
No.
Why not?
Because you called me 8 times. I don't talk to you that much when I'm home.
The most rewarding kind of experience that I've had in television or film is, you know, trying to make somebody laugh and succeeding at it. And if you do a movie that is not profound but gives a lot of joy to people, if it makes them forget the drudgery or the pain or the, you know, the stress of their day, you're giving them a huge gift. And so I do not discriminate in anything I do in terms of what's an important show and what's an unimportant show. So I always credit my job as a movie usher, and in particular Barefoot in the Park, as the film that started getting me to pay attention to the audience as opposed to my own taste.